Welcome to SoCal Prep Report. A little bit different today. We're at the luncheon, the Southern Section luncheon at the Airport Marriott Hotel in Long Beach. A lot of good guests. We're going to have coaches on, players on that'll be represented in this weekend's championship games. I'm Randy Rosenblum, but you know that. You also know the man to my right, Tarek Fatal. Great luncheon here today.
I was actually more particularly impressed with the desserts. Little carrot cake, little tiramisu, little brownie. That's all I got for you. That's a scouting report on the dessert. Yeah, I did.
All right, you know who ate last week? St. John Bosco D1 Southern Section semifinal. Got by Orange Lutheran. Let's credit Jason Negro. This hadn't been an easy season with a young team, and they win against a very good Olu team.
Yeah, I think we described all year long that this is a young team that might take a lump here and there. And you know what? They really didn't, other than the game against Mater Dei. So kudos to Jason Negro for almost expediting their experience despite being young and getting some quality wins, including one last week.
That game was close. Mater Dei wasn't. They go to Corona Centennial. Oh, by the way, we're going to meet Raul Lara, the coach of Mater Dei, a little bit later in the program. And you can see they're ranked #1 in the country, and they continue to dominate.
I think the score at halftime was relatively close, like one score. At the end of the first quarter, maybe it's maybe 9-3. So everyone's kind of, wait a minute, we might have a game here. And the Monarchs are just too powerful, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Division I final was lopsided as well.
Division II is going to be a good final because these are the semifinal winners. Let's start with Murrieta Valley. Not an easy game. Goes into overtime. They rally at Oaks Christian and win it 55-52. Bear Bachmeyer, really the hero, the great quarterback of Murrieta Valley.
I watched this game on NFHS, and it kept going back and forth. This was a game where defense was optional, and I actually thought Oaks Christian was going to pull it out, but Murrieta Valley is battle-tested, the #1 seed in Division II, and showed it.
Newberry Park remains undefeated. They are talented. Not easy all the time, but they get through against Yorba Linda. Perfection so far for the Panthers.
Brady Smigel and Shane Rosenthal, you know, that's there's the shows in Vegas, and then there's a show in Newbury Park, and those guys are really, really fun to watch. So kudos, the #1 and #2 seed in Division II, and that's not easy. We know that's a very highly competitive division.
Moving on to the next division, D3, Simi Valley. The Pioneers, coached by Jim Painkert. Great win, 28-25. By the way, that wonderful running back, Sean Morris of Loyola, finishes his junior year with 1,580 yards and 15 touchdowns. Even Morse was not enough to get by the Pioneers.
Well, they ran into Bryce Hawkins and a quarterback in Tag Harrison for Jim Bankert's Pioneers Ball Club. And I saw Jim Bankert today at the luncheon, and I just looked at him and said, "Why are you always here?" And we just started laughing. I think he's been to this luncheon like 12 or 13 times in his career. Obviously the finalist. Now, he hasn't won that many, but always an accomplishment to get to this day, Randy.
Edison's Chargers, just a terrific program. They beat Vista Murrieta. Their head coach is Jeff Grady. We're going to meet him in a little bit as well. Edison into the finals.
Yeah, the Chargers are a really, really well-disciplined, good team. Troy Thomas, former Servite and Crespi coach on staff, so you know they're going to be good defensively. Really, really good ball club.
Open Division City Section, San Pedro in a barn burner over Carson. They pulled it out. They were down 24-0. They win it late 40-34. They're going to take on Narbonne. There's the score on the San Pedro Carson game. The other contest was, hey, not shocking. Birmingham, the 4-time champion, was the underdog. Narbonne, the #1 seed. The 48-game winning streak is over for Birmingham against city competition. In D1, Palisades looked very, very good against Eagle Rock. Hope you had the over in that game. 63-45. Palisades and King Drew advanced over Kennedy. That's a very good Kennedy team. Diego Montez, their quarterback, finishes the season with 24 touchdowns rushing, 24 passing, and Southgate better than Arleta. Arleta, by the way, in D2 was the #1 ranked team. Chatsworth also advanced with a pulsating 21-20 victory. Any thoughts about any of those?
Oh, I mean, listen, I think when it comes to the city section, it's great to see something a little different, Randy. Yes, okay, great. Look, in the southern section, it's Bosco and Mater Dei again. Let's be honest, a little boring. The city section is going to have two different teams in it in the final. San Pedro, Narbonne, we're going to have a different champion. Obviously, there's a little drama in the storyline there with the Marine League foes going at it. I think the city section has something to be excited about this weekend.
You know what's not boring? Meeting the coaches and players. Let's do that right now on SoCal Prep Report. In the D1 game, no surprise, Mater Dei 11-0. They've been perfect. They're ranked number 1 in the country. We have the head coach, Raul Lara, and Dash Byerly, the outstanding quarterback. He's a college commit, and I'm sure Tarek will ask him about that in a moment. But, Coach, a perfect year, your first season. Is this what you expected when you took the job?
Well, obviously, Rollinson and Frank established something remarkable at Mater Dei. So obviously, the tradition there is to be champions, and then obviously, I was fortunate enough to inherit a very good football program. Not only that, great football players and also an excellent staff. And so we were able to take care of business this year, and right now we're undefeated. But we got a Bosco in front of us right now, and that's going to be a pretty good challenge for us.
Certainly will be. Now, you hammered them during the regular year. So how do you keep your players focused on this game? Forget the past.
Well, all year, and my players will tell you, we've been harping about each day about getting better. And so we'll stay focused in that sense. Let's get better each day that we're given, and if we do that, then I think we'll be okay.
In a flash, let's hear from Dash.
Okay, easy there, Randy. Dash, I talked to you about this a little earlier in the year. When I came, I think I saw you guys play against Centennial, so basically the first game of the year. And I talked about how you and Coach Lara kind of came in together, kind of both new guys per se. What's the relationship been like through the course of 11 games now between you and Coach Lara?
Being the quarterback, me and him have been pretty close together, and we always talk about being a captain as well, and talking about what we're doing this next week. But we've been pretty close, and obviously throughout the season we've built a stronger connection, and it's been great.
I know the biggest tagline for you has been your efficiency. I know, unfortunately, you did throw one interception. I mean, a quarterback throwing one interception all year is still pretty remarkable. But for you, getting to know you a little bit, that one interception, it bugs you, doesn't it? But how do you kind of put it in the rearview mirror and keep moving forward?
Yeah, obviously, it kind of hurts to say that through a pick. And, it's probably one of the best seasons I've had of all my high school careers. But, it happens. I'm not perfect, but to be able to have a limited number of picks and turnovers, it's big for me and the team.
Piggybacking off Randy, earlier in the year, yes, you did thump Bosco, but you need to stay even keel. Playing a team again for the second time can bring its challenges. As a leader, what's the message you're telling your team to stay focused for Friday night?
Just to not be complacent, and we can always have a big ego about it, and we're just not going to have that ego and pretend like it's a normal game like we do every other week.
Gotta love that mentality.
I really do. What I respect about your ball club, Coach, you had to go on the road as the top seed, which I saw as a little strange, to have to go to Corona Centennial, play a team that gave you a tough game in the first contest. What was that like, and what was your message going on the road in the playoffs?
Well, in the Southern Section playoffs, I kind of know who's going to be the home team and who's going to be away. And so obviously it just worked out where Corona Centennial ended up having the home game because the previous week they were away and we were at home. And so that's how that worked out. But, again, we really harp about us concentrating on the day, getting better. And so I think that's helped tremendously. I mean, you just heard Dash kind of indicate that, we're not going to get big hit or anything. Well, that's the focus. The focus is to get better today than yesterday. And so we just stay focused, and then we just approach it that way.
Everyone in this day and age talks offense. Mm-hmm. Your quarterback, Dash Byerly, is outstanding. Davis and your running back is great. You have receivers. But your defense has been dominant. How much fun has it been for you to watch a defense play like that and control games?
No, there's no doubt that our defense has been tenacious all year. It is a sight to see. Just sit back on the sidelines and watch these guys play. It's pretty remarkable, and the things that they do out there. But the thing that I'm more proud of is how they play together. And so obviously with that talent together, they've just been dominant.
Just a couple more for me here with Dash. When you transferred to Mater Dei, my guess is you knew the expectation was potential national championship, at least get to the title game, so on and so forth. So far, all of your goals are intact. How does it feel to actually come to Mater Dei and be part of what is such a great, great season?
I mean, this program is amazing. First off, I mean, I remember driving past the school saying, man, it would be crazy to play at Mater Dei. And the fact that I'm here now, you know, standing next to you and Coach, I'm really appreciative of it. And it's great to be around these guys. I mean, this is probably one of the best teams I've ever played with. And, I mean, offense is great. Like you said, defense is amazing. And but I'm just really grateful to be in this position.
A humble and hungry quarterback, Randy. I don't know if you can get better
I
than
still want
that.
to find out about his college commitment. Washington, you still all go with the Huskies. All right, guys, good luck against Bosco. Never easy. Congratulations on a phenomenal season. Mater Dei seeking not only an undefeated season, but a national championship. It's been a great year for the Nighthawks of Murrieta Valley. They're 11-2. They're in the D2 final. Interesting opponent, Newberry Park, who's unbeaten. With us, the head coach, George Wilson, and his outstanding running back, Dorian Hose. Tarek will talk to Dorian in a moment. Coach, congratulations on getting here. It hasn't been easy. I know your win over Oaks Christian in the semifinals was an absolute classic.
Yeah, we got off to a poor start, and we battled, and went to overtime, and they gave us all we could handle.
You've been in a lot of shootouts. You won that game 55-52. What about your ball club brings out the best in you in these high-scoring games?
We talk about it a lot before the game, going into games. Hey, this could be tied at the end. This could be a one-point game at the end. We're comfortable with that. We're ready for that.
And Tarek's ready for Dorian.
Dorian Hose. I had tweeted earlier this year, I think they got to start getting the statue ready for Murrieta Valley because at least the first 7 or 8 games of this season, every time I look down at that box score, now I know there's other players on the team, of course, but it was Dorian Hose just about every Friday night leading that offense. Talk about what's been going so well for this Nighthawks team.
Well, it's just been our amazing O-line, you know, and our wing, too. You know, we've really put together a really good offense, and getting our quarterback around week 8 really accelerated us into a bigger level of football.
For those that don't know, explain your game. What kind of running back is Dorian Hose?
Well, I'm more like a power running back. You know, I can kind of like stay behind my blockers because I'm a little smaller and kind of just gash the defense slowly and then wear out the safeties and all the DBs that want to come tackle me and the linebackers as well. And so I'm kind of more just a power running back, yeah.
We know about Bear Bachmeyer, the quarterback at Murrieta Valley. However, we also knew he was going to be out most of the season. Did you feel like as a senior it was part of your responsibility to lead this team until Bachmeyer came back?
Yeah, it definitely felt like a step up, especially learning that first week that we wouldn't have him. So it was like, oh, well, I got to put a team on the back and kind of just show them like what we got.
And he's been doing that, Randy.
Yeah, he really has. Coach, you get Bear back. You've been 5-0 since Bear returned. Was it easy to get him back in a smooth transition?
Yeah, you know, the thing about Bear is he is a 4-year starter for us, so there's a lot of familiarity there. And so it went as smooth as we could have hoped for a guy that didn't play most of the season.
Newberry Park, Brady Smigel, Shane Rosenthal, one of the lethal passing combinations in Southern California. Can you slow them down, or do you just outscore them again?
Well, we'd like to do both, ideally. So, yeah, you know, they're up there in Ventura County, or we're down in Inland Empire, so we're not very familiar with them. Besides,
How do you find out about them?
we study the film, and that's about as well as we know them.
Dorian, we'll talk about a little bit Newberry Park. Have you got a chance to watch much film on them? I know the semifinal was only a couple days ago, so maybe you haven't. But the little that you do know about Newberry Park, what have you seen?
Well, I haven't watched very much film on them, but I do take a look at their like roster and kind of their stats, and I kind of just tend to look at like how their linebackers are doing and how their defense looks and how many tackles they make or how many rushing yards they allow on them per game. So kind of tend to look at that.
My last question for you. Week 0, and here you are in the CIF final. long season, but it happens so fast at the same time. Can you articulate what this season has been like when you want to try and put it in a times frame?
It's been amazing. You know, I definitely didn't think it would go by like as quick as it did, because in my senior season, it's like, oh man, it's only week 2. You know, we got a lot of games left. But it definitely flew by very, very quickly, especially playing all these great teams too. So it's like a lot of big games all in one season too.
A little more football left for Dorian Hose.
Last ad for the coach, George Wilson. You've been here one other time in your 11 years, and you fell in the D2 game to San Clemente. Why is this time going to be different?
Well, you know, it's a very similar situation. We're playing a really good team with a really good quarterback, and but you know, we have a good team, and we're pretty confident. So we'll see what happens.
Murrieta Valley, they've had a great year. Can they get by Newberry Park? That's the big question. We'll find out this weekend. This is going to be fun for me. The coach at Edison is this gentleman, Jeff Grady. I had an opportunity to call his football games when he was at Fresno State. He was a young pup, pretty good quarterback, by the way. Now he's an outstanding head coach at Edison. He has his Chargers in the championship game in D3 against CIF Valley. Great to see you again.
Good to be seen. Good to see you as well.
Jeff Grady's a good guy, soft-spoken, heck of a football coach. How have you brought your Chargers to this point in the season?
Well, I think number one, it's been them. They've really bought in, and here we are. I mean, they've pushed it each and every week, each and every day in practice, and this is kind of representative of their efforts.
The path to get to the finals. We looked at your path. You had to play Bonita at the time. They were undefeated. I know they were minus one of their key players, but you shut them out. Talk about the path in the playoffs and how difficult it was for Edison.
Well, I think whenever you get this far, I mean, you play quality opponents each and every week, and we've done it. We've done it as a team, and it's taken a full team effort in all 3 phases, and yeah, but it's been a challenge.
Tarek, you have Cooper over there. He's never a challenge.
Cooper Cirillo, defensive end and tackle, playing both sides of the ball. My first question, Alpha League, big-time league. How has that league prepared you for a run like the one you're on right now?
Yeah, those guys, they got us ready. I mean, quality opponents, quality league. It's an honor to be in that league. Top public schools in the state, really, so yeah.
No, it's true. Definitely the top teams in Orange County as well. Defensively for Edison, what makes you guys so special?
Everyone doing their job, buying into what we do, trusting each other. That's really it, just doing our job.
Explain your game a little bit. How are you coming off the edge? How do you play football?
We personally run a 3-front, so I'm inside shade. Depends the read I get, but pass situation, I'm off the edge, kind of just trying to get around the quarterback and contain him.
My last one for you. Edison, I feel like a team that's disciplined, knows its identity, kind of a hometown program, and now you're in the CIF final. How much pride do you have to be a Charger?
I mean, a lot, but it's just what we do. Nothing's changed, and I mean, it means a lot for the community and to me to just be a part of this.
Fantastic.
We have a great matchup. You're playing Simi Valley, head football coach Jim Bankart. Bankart's been on this show before. What do you know about your Pioneer team that you're going to play?
Well, they're solid. I mean, they're 12-1 for a reason. They score points in bunches. They're good on defense. Special teams, they play hard, obviously. It's going to be the ultimate challenge for us. We're going to have to play our best game.
And that's the kind of challenge you want in a championship, correct?
Absolutely. They have to be earned.
Speaking of earned, you earned a scholarship at Fresno State playing for Pat Hill. We both know Pat well. What'd you take from him as a coach?
Just, you know, the fanatical effort. He's just such a passionate guy that's really turned into be one of my best friends. And I don't know, he's passionate about what he does, and the players kind of live that through him.
Well, it's been great to see you again. Congratulations getting to the finals. Best of luck against Simi Valley.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, that's Edison. Not going to be easy. Should be a great game against the Simi Valley Pioneers. Division 14. Time to give Pioneer the Titans their just due. Ramon Juarez, he's been the coach like 20 years, 2 different stints. Has got his team in its first ever final against San Gabriel. Got the quarterback too. Tarek will talk to the QB in a moment. Coach, congratulations on getting here. Did you expect to go this far?
Well, we expect to do pretty well in the playoffs. I wasn't sure we were going to make it to the finals, but we're glad to be here.
What makes your football team good enough to be here?
I think that just the overall hard work ethic that they've had all throughout. We've been doing some extra work since early January, so almost a year doing extra work as far as technique is concerned. And we went from having 5 to 6 kids on Saturday up to about 35 to 40 every Saturday doing some extra work. So it's paid off for us.
So you got a committed group.
Yes, sir.
The program, never been to a final. What does it mean to the school to get here?
I think it's just great for the community in general. You know, we're a very small community.
Whittier.
In Whittier High School. I mean, excuse me, not Whittier High School, Whittier area. And just having the community come out and support has been the big thing for us.
You have, Tarek, the quarterback, a dual threat guy.
I've got Amiri Resendez with me. Amiri, talk about the season you've had this year. I'll kind of let you go on this. I was talking to an athlete earlier. You know, the season's long, but it happened so fast at the same time, and now you're in the CIF finals.
Yes, sir. It was very quick. We had 10 guaranteed games, and we were lucky to play all 10. And we had some competition, and even though they were higher rankings, we still came into the game as a winning mindset, of course. And we just played our heart outs, and we left everything on the field with no regrets.
For those that don't know, explain what your game is like. If someone were to come and watch you on a Friday night or in this championship game, what are they going to see from you?
Oh, very physical, for sure. Deep balls throwing and fast pace, 100%.
What's been the reception? I know school, you won on Friday, no school today probably. So do you expect a huge crowd to be at the game on the championship day?
Oh, yes, 100%. So this is our first CIF appearance, of course, and we expect like the whole community, the whole school to be there. So it's going to be a very big thing.
My last question for you, what do you know about San Gabriel?
San Gabriel, they're a running team. They have some pretty big, decent kids, but you know, me, our coaching staff, the team, we know that we'll put up a good fight and we'll come out with the win.
Love to hear that. Look at that.
All right. Coach, let's get your perspective on San Gabriel. How do you map out a game plan to try to beat your opponent?
Well, St. Gabriel's a very solid program. They run the ball really well. They got 2 or 3 different running backs that have done real well this year. They look like to be a very athletic defense, and they run around very similar to us. So I think it's almost kind of a mirror image in a sense. We're not real big, but we're real physical, and we run around and get after the ball. So it should be a good game.
Win or lose, what will you remember about this year's team?
I just think the overall commitment that they've made throughout the year and being at practice and doing what they're supposed to do and doing the right thing all the time.
The Pioneers looking for a CIF championship in the Southern Section in D4. Won't be easy. Should be a great game against San Gabriel. Let's check out the 14 championship games in the CIF Southern Section football finals. Number 1 division, Mater Dei, St. John Bosco, a rematch from earlier in the year. Obviously, the records tell you Mater Dei won.
Randy, they're going to play again. This is the 7th time they'll play in the Division I final since 2016. Each team 3-3, so the ultimate rubber match in this one.
Newberry Park, Murrieta Valley. This is a beauty.
I think the difference here is Newberry Park's defense. They've shown they can defend through the postseason. Murrieta Valley, not so much. I think the Panthers might have the edge in this one.
I don't know. The Bear is on the other side. Bear Bachmeyer. I kind of like Murrieta Valley there. All right, division. Next up, 3, Simi Valley. 12-1, but Edison is really coming on.
Big question is, will Julius Gillick, their stout running back, play in the game? He got ejected on Friday. I have a feeling the judges will overturn that. Look for him to play in that big-time final.
Yeah, Gillick has 2,000 yards on the ground, but Bryce Hawkins of Simi Valley, close to 2,000 yards. Those are 2 teams that really run the football well. How about Pacifica of Oxnard and St. Bonaventure? This is a rematch won by St. Bonnie earlier this year, October 11th, 37-35.
It's a Marmoni League matchup. Again, these are two teams in the same league playing for a Division IV final. 3 Marmoni League teams in CIF finals. Almost 4, but Oaks Christian lost to Murrieta Valley.
Walk-off field goal that won it for St. Bonaventure. Next, Division V, Lucerna and Palos Verdes.
Yeah, really, really good matchup. This is a pure toss-up, but at Palos Verdes, they have the quarterback in Ryan Rakowski, only a sophomore and a great coaching guy, Gardner.
Yeah, I love Ryan Rakowski. He's a tremendous talent, and like you said, he's only a sophomore. Here's one hard to pick: Murrieta Valley against Glendora, both 9-4.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolute toss-up. A little bit different styles. Murrieta Valley likes to run it. Glendora likes to throw it.
How about Warren? Warren lost a couple players, but still they're here against Rio Hondo Prep, who's got the great record. What a great tribute to the Bears to lose their 2 stars.
Well, the best stat for this, Rio Hondo Prep, 71 boys in the school. Warren, an enrollment of 3,600. It might be the biggest discrepancy in a CIF final in regard to enrollment in the history of the section. That'll be a fun game to keep an eye on.
Who do you like?
Oh, give me Rio Hondo Prep.
I agree with you. That's Warren going down to Rio Hondo Prep, in our opinion. What about Serrano and Pius 10?
Yeah, St. Pius, this is a team that came into the playoffs 1-9. Talked to Devaugh Thomas today. He said, man, when we found out we were in, it was like a new breath of life, and the boys didn't want to squander it, so now they're in the CIF final.
Wilson's in a championship game, Division 9 against Highland. You can see both teams are 9-4. Silverado against St. Anthony, again, identical records. That's a Saturday evening affair. El Rancho and Portola, that's Division 11. El Rancho probably the favorite there. Remember, we're going through 14 divisions here. Palmdale 8-5. Carter, who I'm not familiar with, 9-3. Division 13, Gar against Pasadena. That should be an interesting game. They're really close to one another. San Gabriel and Pioneer, the other CIF Southern Section championship game. That's another Saturday night affair. Let's turn our attention to the LA City section. We got some pretty good football there. Narbonne and San Pedro in the open final.
The game is going to be drama-filled. That game is going to be drama-filled because we don't know who's going to win it, but I think Narbonne might have the edge. And listen, there's going to be a little, I hate to say it, but there's going to be a little bit of bad blood after San Pedro boycotted Narbonne.
See those stars there? Because of those forfeits, they're really not 2-10. On the field, they have had a very good record, but they had to forfeit a number of games because of ineligible players. And let's see what happens in that one. In the City D1, King Drew against Palisades, who can really throw the football, but King Drew's been coming on of late.
Yeah, there's a team that really, I think you nailed it, really came on late, and we weren't sure what they were earlier in the year, but clearly they found the recipe for success. Yeah. Palisades likes to pass the ball.
Jameer Torres has been great this year, 19 touchdowns for King Drew. And Chatsworth against Southgate. Southgate was 0-10 last year, so it's just great that they're in the finals. And finally, in the Division 3, Van Nuys against Panorama. That's a Valley game. Should be in Birmingham. It's a Valley game. Also, we want to mention Jason Zabalik out as coach at El Camino Real. We thank Jason for all his good time with us. We had El Camino football here. And also out, Lorenzo Hernandez. He's gone from Garfield.
Yeah, two notable coaches in the city section. Definitely Hernandez, been there for, I want to say 27 years, almost 3 decades. 3 decades. Almost there. Well, it is 3 decades. 30 years. Yeah. I was like, wait,
Your math is better than you
maybe
thought.
that's like 3 centuries. No, that's 300 years. But yeah, when you lose a figure like that in the city section, things are going to change a little bit.
Banning, Narbonne, El Camino Real, the flag football champions in the LA City section. The note there, San Pedro, up 12-0 at halftime, loses to Banning in the open division game. Hey, this was a lot of fun here. We're near the airport in Long Beach. Had pretty good food and a good crowd.
Kudos to the CIF Southern Section.
Right.
They always put on a good event. They make these the programs feel special, and that's what this is about. The food is always good. The place set is always good. The speaker's usually good. We have the card chargers of the GM here, so good day all around.
Well, that's going to wrap up our day. Hope you enjoyed it. By the way, happy Thanksgiving. It's been a great week, and when you think of Thanksgiving, you think of football, and we had great football people here today in Long Beach. For Tarek and our LA 36 crew, I'm Randy Rosenblum. We'll see you next time right here on SoCal Prep Report. Good day, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You're watching LA 36, television dedicated to lifelong learning.